नमस्कार आप सभी को। मैं हूँ आयशा रेडियो बुला मस्ती से और आप सभी को स्वागत कर रही हूँ। और मैं अभी आपके लिए एक वीडियो पेश करने जा रही हूँ जो लक्ष्मी नारायण मंदिर में हुआ था। और ये जो इवेंट था ऑर्गेनाइज किया गया था बाय द नॉर्थ अमेरिकन हिंदूज एसोसिएशन एंड फ्रेंड्स। और ये जो गैदरिंग था टू गेट सम ऑफ द candidates from the federal election to address the Hindu Canadians here in Canada. तो इस इंटरव्यू में आप सुनेंगे, इस जो वीडियो है इसमें आप देखेंगे सुनेंगे कुछ क्वेश्चंस और आंसर्स। अगर आपको और भी कुछ जानकारी चाहिए इस इवेंट के बारे में जो हो चुका है कल, ये इसके लिए आप कॉल कर सकते हैं रवि सेरू को 604-944-0622 या तो रतन गार्ग को 778-552-0248। एक बार फिर से मैं हूँ आयशा रेडियो बुला मस्ती पर, साथ साथ में शाना टीवी पर जो आप देख सकते हैं ibmtv.ca और साथ साथ में shanatv.com पर। मैं हूँ आयशा। चलो एक बार हम आपके लिए वही कुछ जानकारी आपको देंगे जो हमने कल देखा और सुना at the Laxmi Narayan Mandir, and this event was organized by North American Hindus Association and Friends right here in Surrey, BC.
Somebody has any question level and try to translate it also. First of all, welcome to all the candidates and all of you, the citizens of Canada. Is from the Liberal Party. As I was telling that Hindus in Canada are at a large number, but somehow they are not visible. According to the Stats Canada in 2017, we are around 700,000 across Canada, and we are around 2% of Canadian population, 55% of Indo-Canadian population. A lot of people, they come to me, they come to Pradhanji, and I think when they get together, they also discuss that we are a large number, but why are people are not seen on platforms? We are not seen in civic politics, we are not seen in municipal, federal or provincial anywhere, or in park boards or anywhere else. So that is something we need to have our leaders out to lead the community and the issues that we have as a Canadian Hindu. How we are going to address that? So I am Vinay Sharma, and I will be moderating today's conversation. It's not a debate, it is just to know about our candidate, and we just want to deliver our concerns to the candidates. If we go to the introduction, I think it's going to be too long. I have introduced everyone already. So let's start with a couple of questions that at the end we'll ask them to sum up and say whatever the candidate wants to say. So we'll start with the first question, which I got already. This is from Sarthak. Is Sarthak here? Anji. There's a mic for you. Yes, anytime. You can take it.
So I think my question concerns with what the speaker mentioned. So I'm a student at UBC, right, and I've had a long academic career. And I've had a long academic career from grade 7 all the way to university fourth year. Now I'm starting masters. So throughout this academic career, I've barely encountered any Hindu professionals in faculty or staff that have come out and said they are Hindu, and they have shown their cultural values, respected it, right? And they've had a lot of opportunities to learn about other people's culture, which is not bad. We've encountered other religions and other cultural values in our academic careers, but barely any Hindu. So when it came to my own culture or religion or heritage, we were taught about it, but barely ever from the people who are actually Hindu. So in our history books, often Hindu is taught as the world religion. It's one of the most populous. But regardless, we were ever taught by a person who's actually Hindu. So this has an impact on my career, on my education, because I often encounter things that could be considered Hinduphobia. It's often an issue in school. I have personally experienced, religious discrimination, religious various stereotypes from various other students in my university, in my high school. So I was wondering, if you are elected as a candidate, what would you do to increase Hindu population and like Hindu representation in the general academia in high school and university included? So, yeah.
Thank you. You can have a seat. As we have two candidates from Liberals, so they can decide one of them can answer. Others are two independent, and Dave will start from Dave. Would you like to answer this question, please?
ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਵੈਰੀ ਮਚ। ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ-ਬਹੁਤ ਨਮਸਤੇ। ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ-ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਅੱਜ ਇੱਥੇ ਆਏ ਆ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਟਾਈਮ ਦਿੱਤਾ। ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਮੈਂਬਰਸ ਦਾ, ਆਪਣੇ ਬੇਦਕ ਹਿੰਦੂ ਕਲਚਰ ਸੁਸਾਇਟੀ ਦੇ ਮੈਂਬਰਸ ਦਾ, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਬੋਰਡ ਆਫ ਡਾਇਰੈਕਟਰਸ ਦਾ ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵੋਲੰਟੀਅਰਸ ਆ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ-ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਕਰਦਾ ਆ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਟਾਈਮ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਅੱਜ ਆਉਣ ਦੇ ਲਈ। ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕਮੇਟੀ ਵਾਲਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਮੇਰੇ ਆਫਿਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਿੰਦੂ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਵਾਲੇ ਆਲਮੋਸਟ ਇੱਕ ਮੀਟਿੰਗ ਵਿੱਚ 10-12 ਜਾਣੇ ਸੀਗੇ। ਉਹ 1.5 ਘੰਟਾ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਉਹਨੇ ਮੀਟਿੰਗ ਕੀਤੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੈਂਪੇਨ ਆਫਿਸ। ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ ਗਰੁੱਪ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸੀਗੇ ਅਬਾਊਟ 8 ਜਾਣੇ ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮੇਨ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਆ ਹਿੰਦੂ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਕੰਸਰਨ ਸੀਗੇ, ਇਨਕਲੂਡਿੰਗ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਅੱਜ ਤੋਂ ਰੇਜ਼ ਕੀਤਾ, ਇਟ ਵਾਸ ਐਗਜ਼ੈਕਟਲੀ ਦਾ ਸੇਮ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਉਹਨੇ ਰੇਜ਼ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ। ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਹੀ ਦੱਸਦਾ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ MLA ਰਿਹਾ 2001 to 2013 ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਸਰੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਲਿਵ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ since 1972 when I was almost 14-year-old. I have good friends within the Hindu community, Sikh community, Muslim community, Christian community, and other religion communities. I have always worked together to represent everybody. When I was the MLA, I made sure that all the cultures, all the religions were equally treated and respected, and we have to respect that, even the Hindu religion and Sikh religion, Muslim religion, and the Jewish religion, and the Christian religion. But at the same time, any of your concerns have, we will make sure we look at it, that all the universities and institutions, there's some sort of program going out that some of the Hindu community believes that is against them. And I sit on our advisory board of Simon Fraser University. Since the university was built by us, when I was East Liberal MLA on 2001-2013, SMU Surrey campus, Vice President there, I have forwarded that email to them and CC to Dr. Arun Garg and Wali Opal, who is the chair of that council. And also I CC to Dr. Garg too, so he was able to see. And I told the university after the election, we will sit down and discuss it, how can we make things better. There should be no discrimination in anybody. Anybody from any religion should be able to run. Everybody should be able to participate in all levels of government, at the city council, municipal level, provincial level, or federal level. I always tell everybody, just because you are from a certain religion, certain background, certain education or income level, does not automatically qualify you to get elected as an MP. Anybody can run as an independent or with any party if you got the nomination or you sign up enough members. I always tell them what I found myself was, before I was MLA, I participated in many of the non-profit organizations, not only the Sikh organization or Hindu organization, like the Surrey Crime Prevention Society, I was the president, Rotary Club of Surrey, I was the president, Surrey Board of Trade, I was the president, Vancouver Board of Trade, I was involved with that, many of Ethnic Press Association, there's dozens of associations I volunteered in. So when I ran for nomination first against the mayor of Surrey, Doug McKellen, for BC Liberal to win the nomination, that was in 1999-2000. Doug is a good friend, but he decided to run against me, stay as a mayor and run for MLA. But because my heart worked with the community, even though I'm from Indian background, brown kid, right, a young guy who didn't have any political experience, we were able to get 70% of the votes. For the people who are from Caucasian background and Indo-Korean background and Filipino background or Chinese background. And that's what my personal view is. It could be wrong, but I tell everybody, it doesn't matter which party they belong to. If you want to run, not just look at education, get involved in the community. Don't get involved just a month before or 6 months before. It takes years. Sometimes if there's a wave there, as my colleagues will tell them, then it doesn't matter if you're good or bad candidate, everybody wins. When it's not a wave, it is your hard work. But I had told the committee, I have another meeting. I had told them I'll be here from 12:30 to 1. And my name was not originally on the program because I was going to leave. And I told them because I already met with almost 30 people from the community to hear some issues, right? But when I was downstairs, they said, can you speak for a few minutes? I said, fine. And then next time, you know, the program will be shifted for me to be debated. I don't mean to insult anybody. I apologize if everybody feels that I'm not listening to them, because I have other commitment, because advanced.
Namaste everybody. Punjabi or English, what's your preference? Hindi is hard for me. I'll try, but it's very hard for me. English?
Yeah.
I'll keep it in English. So, first of all, I want to thank you. This is one of the most important aspects of political life is debates and to listen to your candidates. And I was so happy when I saw the parking lot full, because a lot of times debates have very few people. And I can honestly tell you, I have never missed a debate that I've been invited to. Every single one, including this election, I went to every debate. And in fact, I don't think my other candidates, as you can see, to the left or right of me, no other candidate from the other major parties are from my riding are here today. As when it comes to the Hindu community and their fair representation, I think leadership starts at the top. I can proudly say I serve with Minister Anita Anand, who was my former professor for Queen's Law when I went to law school. She's now the Minister of Procurement. She's the first minister of Hindu origin ever in this country. She runs the largest portfolio in the entire government. People forget about it because it's not something you directly deal with, but procurement and government services is the largest budgeted portfolio in the country. And she runs that, does it very well, and I'm very proud to serve along with her. Also, Gary Anand Sangari, who's the Parliamentary Secretary, another very good friend of mine from Scarborough. And what we do also at the top is we celebrate those festivities, those holidays that are meaningful for you in Parliament. We believe Parliament is your park, your building, your institute. Whatever days that are auspicious to you, we are there to support you on this. So Diwali is a big festival we celebrate in Parliament. I encourage you, some of you have flown out there to see it. This is the way we start. When it comes to education and post-secondary, unfortunately, high school education is done and all through the BC government, so you'll have to make that case to them to put it in the curriculum. The post-secondary education is also done in the same way. However, we give research grants, whether they be for religious studies and otherwise, and by all means, if there's an application of a university to do that, please come to our office. I'd be more than happy to do it. I also want to thank the media. I see Media Waves here, I see Ulamasti here, I see Prime Asia here. Thank you for covering this. This is very important so people at home also get to hear our views and know what we're talking about. Thank you.
Thank you. We have Mr. Murli to say a few words to address this. You have the mic.
Thank you everyone for coming today. Thank you, Mr. Ravi. And like I've been here for the last 25 years, did various kinds of jobs. In the last 15 years, I've been a notary public. Been, like I said, success, there are two kinds of success. Internal success and external success. Internal success all depends on you, like how hard you work. But when it comes to external success, it all is among all of you people right here, right? It depends who you know and who you are. So I'm at this stage of the life where I'm going to the next step, where I want to represent the community here and help everybody. And I'm like proud of the independent candidates here. And hopefully you'll all support us. And I'm sure I'm going to support the UBC student who said here, we have to stand up, represent ourselves, represent our community, and who I am. Thank you very much.
It's good to see the young poet getting involved in politics. A lot of us, I'm not that young though, but a lot of people, they don't want to participate in politics. They think it's somebody else's job, but every job is ours. We have to get started. So it's good to see Parveen Hundal running as an independent candidate from Surrey Newton. You have heard the question?
Yes.
Please answer it again, please.
I think the first question is that why is students still facing this and feeling like this after parents are working so hard to pay for an education for their students? And as someone who just graduated from Simon Fraser University, I want you to know that you are heard and I understand where you are coming from. We are in 2021 and we still face systemic discrimination within all systems within our society. And it's about working with all three levels of government, federally, provincially, and municipally. And if I could even go and talk to someone within the provincial representative to pass along this message, I think that's what it should be about being a representative. You work on all three levels of government from all three levels. And another thing I want to say is, we can have roundtables, we can have conversations, but it's about holding our post-secondary institutions accountable that our students are feeling this way. It is 2021, and they are still feeling isolated and secluded within their education systems. Going to school should feel like a safe space where equality and every single people of color, all religions, and all historical perspectives are heard and educated about. And that is what equality is about. And I just want you to know that you are heard. And as someone who just graduated from post-secondary, I have that experience. I understand where you're coming from. And it's about more than having roundtables with people high up there in the universities. It's about letting students know that if you are feeling like this, we need to provide outlets and resources. Students need to also voice up, and we can align together and have representatives with them and talking to the people at the top at the universities, because we are paying so much for this education, so we should not be feeling secluded from our systems.
Thank you very much. And obviously, they have to go and play so they can see. Thanks for coming. And Pastor Sophie is here, so I will request him after the prayer to come here and have a seat. So we have 3 liberals here in the house today. We have only 5 questions, first of all, for the candidates, and we'll finish it in half an hour, as we said. We're not going to take it too long, otherwise I know there's so many questions. The second question is from Rajesh Acharya, who is standing beside me. Rajesh.
Okay, Dhanyawad. So, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm an architect, so I have my own business. And I have also operations in India, so I employ people there or outsource a lot of work. I have employees here as well. So there is a vast potential for relationship between the two democracies, which is not fully developed. Right? India is the largest democracy and one of the rising economic powers, and there can be a lot of potential for synergy between the two countries. So Canadian Hindu community is well connected to their spiritual homeland. Right? We consider India as our birthland and Canada as our Karmabhumi, Janmabhumi and Karmabhumi. So this is our where we do our duties. So both of them are mothers for us, and our community can. So we wish prosperity for both of these nations. Our community members can help with enhanced cooperation between the two shared value democracies and help fulfill the potential. So Hindu community can definitely help. And despite significantly well-positioned prominent members of the Hindu community, such as entrepreneurs, academics, in every aspect of society, they are not engaged in the cross-national dialogue. For example, delegations of Canada, when they go to India, there's no representation from the Hindu community at all. So our question is, what can your elected government or your party, what can you do to change this?
Thank you, Rajesh. Let's welcome Sutta Liwasa ji as well. He is the candidate from we'll start the answers from that order now. Praveen, would you like to answer this question?
Yes. So global relations and fundamental relations within global policy as well as within our democracy is super important. So having representation and feeling like you can represent Canadian roots within India is super important, and that's about creating allyship within our democratic system. And I just want to say that I do have experience. People might say a lot of things about independent candidates, but when I worked in Ottawa within Parliament Hill, I have seen how the system works, how our justice system works, how the political system is going, and I understand that global affairs and global policy is one of the top priorities, and feeling heard and represented safely within another nation will be a priority. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, like I said, this is my first time into the politics, right? I need experience. Any job, you need experience. So whatever is said, I'm going to listen to you. I'm going to take this matter up to the government, federal government, and represent all of you, I don't have to listen to anybody else. I listen to you, right? And you have the choice to select who is the best person. Thank you.
Thank you. We have 3 liberal candidates, so one of you can answer this.
I think that probably the best thing that a member of Parliament can do is make himself or herself known to the constituency, to the stakeholders. And then, watching all the time for opportunities to involve, engage those stakeholders in things that are going to make a positive difference, not just for the individual business person, but also for the whole community that that business person represents. Now, this is something that, as 3 experienced members of Parliament, we've done consistently. In fact, I'll defer to my good friend Sue Dollywall, who's been at it longer than Randeep and I combined, and working on the International Trade Committee, knows a lot more of the mechanics of it. But on a general basis, being here, being available, making those connections, and having people come to us to say, hey, we want to be involved in this. This is also very important because we can't necessarily think of everything. But what we do as a government, what we have done as the Liberal government, is try and foster good relationships with any country, either on a business level or on a political level. Sometimes one is working well and the other isn't. You know, there are examples in the world where Canada does business with a country where we don't necessarily agree entirely on what that country stands for. Saudi Arabia comes up as a very, very good example. Other countries where there's a natural affinity, like India, because we were all part of the Commonwealth, all part of the British Empire at one point. And those roots run deep. So in terms of values, in terms of connectivity, they're there. What we look for from you, though, is to come forward to us, because if we don't think to talk to you, the opposite flow works as well. Come talk to us. Say, look, we want to be involved, for instance, in the next trade mission to India. Great. We'll make sure that that gets back east, gets to the people who organize those things, and that's the way you get involved.
Thank you. I think 5 minutes also will be next thing, because all of us, we have to go somewhere. 3 more questions. Next question is from Nima Mandal. Nima, you can come here.
Thank you very much. I am Nima Mandal, and I have been targeted victim of vested interest group which badly affected my business here. I think some of my friends and neighbors, they know that what happened in last few days. Like last year, we have targeted by few group of people, and they surrounded my car. 10 to 12 people, they just followed my car, they surrounded my car. They have given threatening calls, like killing us and burning down our houses. This is like because Hindu minorities. So I'm asking, like, where is the safety and security of Hindu minorities here? Anything happens in India, political activity, anything, the sound you can hear here in Canada. They torture the people who are Hindu minorities here. So my question is that, like here, if elected in power, will your government denounce Hindu phobia in all form of Canadian society and protect the Canadian Hindu minorities by taking firm actions against the people who are doing this, and saving like people like us, giving them security? As a woman, I feel it's not safe. If I'm going anywhere like this, people are chasing you, it's not your safety. So that's what my question, like, will we get safety?
Thank you, Nima ji. Start from the Liberals. Anybody who wants to answer this question, please?
Why did nobody react to that this year? Sorry, I'm interrupting. When Hindus were being attacked, called names.
We'll call you for the question.
Why did not any MP from any constituency or any leader from any party condemn that? And it was in the name.
Hold on, volunteers, we request you. There is a protocol in the system. If you have a question, let the volunteers know. They will bring you here.
First of all, I want to thank you, Sharma, and your team for putting it together. But unfortunately, I did not receive the message somehow. But I came to know, and I am here today to be accountable. And I can tell you, anytime in the past, if there is one person that's been here in this mandir, whether it's with the mandir organization or with the seniors here, Sukh Daliwal and team here, Ken Hardy, and we all has been here. When it comes to defending the minority rights, I chose the Liberal Party because the Liberal Party is the one that brought in Charter of Rights and Freedom that enshrined in our Constitution the individual rights. Whether we are talking about Hindu phobia, whether we are talking about Islamophobia, whether it's about the Jewish community, whether it's the Sikh community, we will always, our leader Justin Trudeau and us as member of parliament have always stood if there is any discrimination, any racism against minorities. There is no place for racism, there is no place for hate, and there is no place for racism and discrimination in our society. There is always going to be just to love, peace, and brotherhood.
Thank you. Mr. Gurdeep, would you like to comment on this?
Yes, I feel that everybody should be protected in the community. It's not like one man. What happens is that each of you have to check on your neighbors, see what are they doing, have an eye on them, see what they are, if they're having any problems. Let us know. That's how we pass the message from one person to another. It comes to us. So that as independent candidate, we will come and see each one of you and take action what is appropriate for that. Thank you.
So social injustices, racism, discrimination continues to exist within our community, and we know this. It's about not just talking about the issue, but acting on the issue. And that comes with raising awareness within our community and when an injustice happens. Letting people know to be aware that this will not be tolerated. It's beyond words, it's about actually acting on it. And we are still experiencing this. And as a woman, I can attest that we are disproportionately even more affected by this. We cannot even go for a walk for 5 minutes outside alone because we will experience some form of discrimination, some sort of racial prejudice, and we will feel unsafe. Why is our society like this? There has been so much representation, but there hasn't been any change, and we know that we are feeling safe. The fundamental safety and public safety of our community is the priority. We all deserve to feel safe, and it's about talking about these issues. It's about talking about minority rights and individual experiences. We need to share our stories and know that this would not be tolerated, and I stand by that. Thank you.
Thank you.
My question was not answered by Mr. Suk. He went around and round, but did not answer the question.
Baji will come to the conference.
I can certainly tell you in clear words, if this, I told you that in any minority, particularly when it comes to Hindu community, there's no one better. I can tell you, Mr. Sharma can witness. If there's a one person that's always here in the mandir on every occasion and making sure that if there are any issues to do with the Hindu community that are taken seriously, and it is so divided, and you're telling me today, and I'm saying I will totally condemn if there is a hate against
You
Hindu.
condemn it at that time. None of your MPs condemned it. None of your MPs.
But if
You can
you
say whatever you
can
want.
get into arguments,
That's
it's
not
your
the
call. I tell you right now, I along with my colleagues are very proud of our record. Right?
Sorry, sir.
Fine. We can convince you, that's fine. If you have agenda, personal agenda, I know
No,
that.
I do
But
not
I
have
don't-
a personal
Thank you,
agenda.
thank you. Let's go down to this. We have a system, let's follow it. And then if someone has questions, those are not given to the Naha, please talk to Ajay ji or Sheru ji, give them your name. And once we finish our regular questions, at the end, if you want, you can ask a question. And if somebody has the counter question, you can ask at the end if time allows. First of all, let's finish the questions that we have, 5 of them, and then we'll move forward. Plus, from Suk, I would like to
I'm Raghav. I'm a public servant. Canadian public institutions are equitable employers. We indeed see diversity in workforce and accommodations for visible minorities. Yet among visible minorities, Hindu minority is invisible. It does not appear that Hindus are beneficiaries of employment equity. Canadian Hindus are conspicuous by their absence, especially in leadership roles. Hindus come from various ethnic and national origins. We are a progressive society and are very much part of the Canadian social fabric as engineers, doctors, professors, entrepreneurs, accountants, etc. According to the Statistics Canada 2017 report, 2021 projections, among roughly 40 million candidates as of now, 36 million identify themselves with Christian denominations, about 2 million are Muslims, about 750,000 identify themselves as Hindu, about 600,000 are Sikhs, about 350,000 are Buddhists, 250,000 are Jews, and rest are 50,000. Hindus are the second largest religious minority denominations in Canada at about 2% of population, and there appears to be no proportionate representation in any of the three pillars of democracy or public media in Canada. It was not until 2019, Mr. Surrey mentioned, that a Hindu found a place in the federal cabinet. That was Anita Anand. It extends to every level of governance. Canadian Hindus seek empowerment and active participation in Canadian democracy. We understand that you all are there to help whenever we have an issue, but we are not part of the people who decide. We are not empowered. If elected to power, how will your government empower the Canadian Hindu community to participate in decision-making processes concerning their community in government and media by providing them equitable, Hindu inclusive representation in public institutions?
Thank you, Raghav. So again, the question is, if you elected, what your government will do to empower the Hindu community to get included into decision-making positions? Let's start from her.
And that can start from even running for politics. You can run as an independent candidate. You don't have to wait for permission to be able to run. And you need a different, and if you have issues you want to voice, then you need representatives you feel safe, comfortable around, where you can voice those issues. And it's about opening that platform, holding town halls within your community, holding community events, not just once a month, but every week. You have to increase that so the community feels that they have an accountable representative who's active within the community all 4 years along. Because that's what we're seeing. We need someone who is engaged, continuously engaged within the community, with all demographics. And yes, this is an issue, and it comes down to like when we were talking about what's going on in post-secondary institutions, and our children are feeling isolated. And then we talk about workplace and how there is a discrimination between who the hiring processes. And as minorities, we face it a bit harder. We could have the same qualifications, but we won't get a position maybe simply just because of this. And that is a great concern. And it's about holding all public institutions, not just universities or colleges. It's about holding workplaces, implementing resources, implementing change, implementing legislation and laws that hold these organizers accountable for their hiring processes. And holding them accountable on who they represent, on who they're hiring, and certain percentages. And this goes down to the same issue, racism in our social justice system, and addressing it starts from the root of the problem, because we have to go down. What is the root of the problem? It's that it's racial injustice, social injustice is happening within our community, and it's a ripple effect because we will find this within our workplaces. Our children will face this within their elementary schools, even all the way up into their post-secondary institutions, within workplaces. We are disproportionately given opportunities. We are tokenized in specific areas and placed so they can say that we have this representation or we have this person of color. But it is beyond that. And that's why I am standing as an independent candidate, because I have the capability and I have the knowledge to go to Ottawa, fight for these issues, and make everybody aware of what is going on. Because we don't have time to wait. We know that these issues are still going on in 2021 and have not been addressed. Enough is enough. We need new representation, and it starts with listening to your community and creating a safe, comfortable platform.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would like to say the same thing, right? We are here, we both are new. We are just getting some experience, knowing to know people, and taking your concerns back east, right? If we win or not win, that's not the thing. We are standing representing you, right? And we want you also to stand up one of these days, in the future. We never know who's the leader here, right? One of you may be a leader here, right? We are encouraging you to stand up. Be independent, bring out your thoughts, your actions, take it back east. That's what I want. And we listen to you, right? And take this as a platform for all of you, or any one of you wants to be a future leader. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure. And so let me just start. I can tell you about my party. I can tell you about my party's values. My party actually has a disproportionate amount of Hindus in it. So we have 154, 155 members of parliament. We have 3 that are from the Hindu faith. They are population-wise 3% of our members of parliament. We have 30 ministers in our cabinet. We have one Hindu, which is also 3%. So it's actually 50% more than what you said. You said the population is 2%. We're proportionately in our government, it is 3%. Then if you look at the public service, which you alluded to, that high positions are there. The commander of the public service is Minister Anita Anand. She is the highest she's the head of the Public Service Department of Canada. She is the one that makes those decisions. I will definitely bring it up if you feel that higher positions are not proportionally given to people of Hindu or any other ethnic background. I'll definitely bring it up to her, and I think she'll be somebody I'll prize it up because she herself is a professor. She's worked hard in the institutions to make sure that equal opportunities, especially to women and women of color, are given. But I can proudly say we're the only party that has members of parliament from the Hindu faith. There's none, I believe, across the aisle in either the Conservative Party or the NDP party. And we're the only party of the official party's agenda that are here before you, that are brave enough to face your questions. You should ask. They're members of your own faith that have not showed up on this board. My other colleague, Sonia Eppi, decided not to come today, or any other debate except for one. So I think you need to see those that have the courage, those that are here. I know there's a question earlier. I just want to let you know, whenever Satish Ji from this Mandar or Vinay Sharma or anyone brings up an issue to us about the Indian community, or even the High Commissioner of India or the Consul General of India saying a citizen of India is being discriminated or requires security, we have acted on that immediately. We've talked to our Foreign Affairs Department if it's an international issue, and we'll always be there for your community. Thank you.
Thank you. Last question from my list, but as a couple of
A slightly different question, but I'll take advantage of the situation and echo the gentleman who made that comment. Because that is one major reason. We, as Hindu community, single-handedly have been victimized by some rogue elements. We all know who they are. And it happened for a long period of time. And we approached every single party. Every single party, we sent letters, we had interviews, Liberal, NDP, Conservative, none of them answered our questions. None of them paid any attention to us. Liberal Party says that it is a party of inclusive, and I see that. But for some strange reason, they did not pay any attention when we were day in and day out being victims. We were organizing our India Day, which is a simple, unreligious function, and we were being victimized, we were being abused, and we approached NDP 3 or 4 times. None of them came here. We wanted to hold them accountable for that. So I really want to echo this comment to all of you, sir and ma'am. I'm very hopeful that we have some new independent, and hopefully they will pay attention to us. Hindu community really feels under pressure, and you have let us down. Not once, not 2 times, hundreds of times we approached MLAs, MPs, provincial level. None of them paid any attention to us. This is a comment I wanted to say. Now I'll come. I'm a Hindu from Kashmir Valley in India. Hindus are persecuted for their faith solely for being Hindu. We heard the question about Canadian Hindu experience in universities. However, in countries such as Pakistan, Afghanistan, Bangladesh, persecution of Hindus is an instrument of state. It is state-sponsored, state-sanctioned. My family members and thousands of other Kashmiri Hindus had to flee from Kashmir to other parts of India and abroad because they faced atrocities at the hands of Pakistan-inspired attacks. Now, despite being the defender of human rights worldwide, Canada has not recognized Hindus as a persecuted community, which has created a legal barrier for refugee immigration of Hindus. Now, the latest example is in Afghanistan, where Gorkha Hindus who guarded the Canadian embassy and the persecuted Hindu and Sikh minorities of Afghanistan were totally abandoned by Canada despite our numerous appeals. So my question is, if elected to power, will your government recognize the persecution of Hindus, champion their human rights in global forums, and accept them as refugees? Thank you.
All right, we start from Lily, please, if you want to answer this question.
Well, the answer is yes. If somebody's being persecuted, then if we know about it, we will speak up. These gentlemen will speak up. I've been in the room when they have stood up and looked the Prime Minister in the eye and say, look, Canada must do better. Be it the Palestinians and the Israelis, be it the Kashmiris and the other groups that have been in conflict there, be it the Rohingya, be it the Uyghurs. Canada has always stepped up. Now, what you need to understand is that there are things or ways of doing things that are designed to get results. So sometimes, if a nation stands up and beats its chest and condemns another nation, well, that other nation is a sovereign nation, and it has the right to tell Canada to buzz off. So sometimes, although it might feel very, very good for the people here to have Canada stand up and condemn the actions of another nation, if in fact the goal is to create peace and security and respect across the land, across that other country, then Canada's role has traditionally been the quiet diplomacy. To take an ambassador aside for a cup of tea, and basically say, you know, we're uncomfortable with what's going on in your country. We're hearing from people here that Hindus are being abused, Muslims are being abused, others are being abused. We don't think that's right. And Canada, as a country, has ways of showing its displeasure, be it through trade, be it through diplomatic channels, be it through foreign affairs, be it through international assistance, etc. But it's the quiet diplomacy that also involves pulling together like-minded nations, and we'll look at Australia and New Zealand and Great Britain, and occasionally, when the right president is in place, the United States of America, to get the message through to the Chinas of the world and some of the other bellicose and belligerent countries of the world, that what they're doing isn't right. We may not stand up at the corner of the street on a pedestal and yell to the world that we're upset with these people. But when we hear from you that things are not good, that action has to be taken, you have to know that it may be quiet, but it is happening, and it is strong. And Canada never, ever backs down when people's rights anywhere in the world are being threatened and challenged.
I'm just going to add real quickly to answer his question. The Hindus in Afghanistan are particularly actually addressed in our new mandate to bring 20,000 people from Afghanistan, and they will be brought to Canada. So they are specifically mentioned, and they're specifically parted. You can Google it up and look at our statement. They're one of the persecuted minorities that are considered. As to your other question, if a person from India claims and comes here and says, I am persecuted because I'm Hindu, that probably would be challenged if they say, prove to us that in the vast amount of India, because what they expect is you can move from one city to the other, and that way may be the issue that, but a Hindu that's persecuted anywhere else outside of India, and the case is valid, by all means they're accepted in Canada. And in the Afghanistan situation, it is specifically mentioned as one of the communities that Canada is going to take 20,000 refugees from.
Thank you. Mr. Murli?
Yes, like we heard the problem, so we will definitely take the issues back east. And like as an independent candidate, what I want to tell you is, you have to listen only to you. You don't have to listen to any leaders. We take whatever opinion you have, and all of us, we can meet and maybe once a month and take your opinion, and we'll definitely take issues back east, and we'll make sure it will be succeeded, right? It will make a success. Thank you very much.
So global policy, global affairs is definitely a tricky situation, but as a community and as a community representative, the top priority is opening up the platform so those issues are heard and trying our best on whatever we can do to intervene within other global nations. And that starts with allyship with other nations that are feeling the same way, because this is obviously a global issue. There are individuals feeling the same thing for other people within these foreign countries. So it's about opening that allyship within other communities, other nations, and coming together and saying this is what we can do and this is how we can help. And that if it is even just about voicing this issue and having a simple conversation, then we will do it, because that is better than nothing being done. And the most important is that the community is feeling like it can voice these issues and are being heard. And it starts with global foreign affairs, and yes, it starts with allyship with other countries who are feeling the same way on specific issues, and then it's intervention and prevention. Because we can't let this continue to happen, we will intervene to the best of the ability and what we can do in that specific scenario, and then it's about providing prevention methods so we can make sure that our community is feeling safe for their friends and families within other countries and are being heard within their own nation as well. And it's about showing solidarity for what is actually going around the world and the atrocities we are facing, because this is a continued global issue. There's multiple issues going around in the world, and we need to address them.
Thank you. Here we finish all our questions, but there is one extra question that I'm going to add to this. If you want to ask any question, please stop to give them the name so they will give you the list. So please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Tuhin, and I'm from Bangladesh. So I came here as a student. So my question is, actually, my point is that in Bangladesh, Hindus are persecuted. Like, for example, even in the last few months, if you Google, you'll find out that like many villages were attacked by Islamist mobs in Bangladesh because they were Hindus, and like they have a common strategy. Like, they will spread a rumor, they will hack someone's account in Facebook, and then they will like say some other person will kind of like say something about Islam, and then the mob will like all gather and they will attack the Hindu villages, Hindu houses. So this is going on like since 1947. So in 1971, Pakistan killed more than 3 million people in Bangladesh. Most of them were Hindus, and the world is silent about that. And this genocide has not been recognized by many countries here, even though like we have like official data about that. So in 1990, there were big like cases of attacks on Hindus. The Hindu population of Bangladesh fell down from 31% in 1947 to about 25% in 1971 to now 7%. So why did more than 20 million Hindus go? So I know that like Canada has always been very sympathetic about like human rights issues around the world. So what is Canada's stand on the persecution of Hindus and Buddhists and other minority religions in Bangladesh? Are they going to give them refugee status like they are doing to Afghanistan or Syria and those places? And also there is another problem, like say we have many expats from Bangladesh here in Canada. So like for example, one thing is like there is continuous persecution against Hindus going on in Bangladesh. And on the other side, like say the people who are kind of like representing them, they are now saying that like this is people are living in harmony in Bangladesh, which is just a lie. And so the thing is, all the political parties are involved. It's not just confined to any particular political party, which is kind of like involved in the persecution of Bangladesh.
Your question is, what will happen or what Bangladesh?
And the other, this is one thing, like what is Canada's stand on the persecution of Hindus in Bangladesh? The other thing is, there are some elements in Canada, like say the experts from Bangladesh, they are spreading propaganda from within Canada. Like I know one of them is like an ex-army major. He is actually saying that kill Indian border security forces from across the border. And then he is also saying that
1 hour, and we have already gone over 1 hour. But today's meeting was just to start a dialogue. I think this is first time has happened that Hindu community, definitely I'm giving you, let me finish. This is the first time ever that Hindu community has organized a gathering where we can talk. We are not here to let anybody down. We are not here to do anything harm to any of the leaders or to create a scene. We are here to just talk. And then I think we have conveyed the message that Hindu community has some issues, that they want the leaders to listen and they want them to take it to the parliament. And as we heard from our leaders, that to do that, we need to participate. While sitting at home or while sitting at mandir, we cannot do that. Praveen has said correctly, stand up, do your thing. Nobody's going to give you a right. You have to ask for that. So the community should start participating in all kind of elections, in all kind of meetings, in all kind of gatherings. And if you have any concern, go to them, go to radios, go to TV. There's media out there. They will listen to you if you start going. Go every day, go every week, go once a month. So I think on both parts, we need to work together to make this country a better country to live. Canada is a champion of human rights, and we need to make sure it stays as champion of human rights. So quickly, as you have to go, Sukh Taliwal, actually he spared time from his own schedule and he was not even invited. So I'm really thankful to Sukh Taliwal ji for coming here and being so generous. And I'm not going to take too much time of you also. It's like 2 more minutes. And Ajay ji will say thank you, but there is a lady there. She wants to ask a question. May I request Shashi ji, please come.
It's a good question. Here we are talking about how to remove racism against Hinduism, and I have to introduce myself. I'm a simple citizen. I'm a self-employed person living here for about 35 years. And the most disturbing things that I noticed that happened very recently, and that is dismantling Hindutva. There was a conference is happening right now actually for 3 days, and dismantling Hindutva. And I noticed that there are 2 Canadian universities involved in that. Now, dismantling Hindutva, why the name? What do you think? What it is? What it is? Is this not racism? And they are doing it not in India. They are doing it internationally. That means now you can think of that if this is allowed to do, then how much harm this is going to do to our students in universities and like Hindus here. So what are you going to do about it? Do you understand, everybody understand that this is a very harmful thing?
Thank you.
And yeah, so I want to
I think you got the question.
Sure. So when it comes to universities and what they do, you have to also pressure them. They're independent authorities. If they breach any of our Canadian charter values or any constitutional rights that you have, you're more than welcome to complain and voice those out. There's many people here, I see at the back, Mr. Marshall and others, who are on the seats of universities who have the ability to actually voice their concerns. So when you see those wrongs or you see hatred in any form emanate in these institutes, by all means raise them. There's representatives there, there's board of governors, boards of directors, there's bodies you can go and reach out to. When it comes to the other thing, you have to reach out to us and have us. We see so much media every day, so much social media. For us to know what everything is going on is not that easy always. But I can tell you, I never turned down a meeting. Anyone, even during COVID, if we weren't allowed to do personal meetings, we did Zoom meetings. We did Zoom meetings across the country. I even have Hindu staff members who apprise me of issues. But if there's ever an issue, you bring it to us. If you still don't feel satisfied, then you have a right to say we're not satisfied. But if you don't bring it up and it's only brought up 5 days before an election and you assume that we just knew everything, we don't know everything. Unfortunately, there's a lot of activities and a lot of stuff that comes to our attention that we're not always able to address. And sometimes it's misconceptions, sometimes it's different levels of government that are responsible for it. For example, universities are not the prerogative of the federal government. We fund some research grants, we'll fund some capital improvements, but the provincial authorities are responsible for post-secondary education as well as elementary and high school education. But we'll do whatever it is. If you bring that up to us, please do it. Use your board members as well to raise those issues when they're here. Thank you.
And into this, that the Bangladeshi guy had that question. If you can quickly
I'm sorry, Bangladesh, I should have alluded to that. When you have the issue of a particular country, please raise it with us. However, Canada, when they do check a refugee, every individual refugee is checked and their story is verified, and a tribunal member checks to see what you're saying is true. If you're being persecuted, there's affidavits for you, there's police reports there's media reports there. They look at those and they'll grant you refugee status. If there's a large-scale issue, please bring it up to us, just like the Rohingya issue with respect to Bangladesh and Myanmar was brought up to us. If you're brought up to us, then there is parliamentary committees in foreign affairs and human rights that actually review these, and those reports have to get a formal action back. So we will definitely look at those. No one should be persecuted in any country, but Canada will give shelter to those that are persecuted in any country because of their caste, color, race, way of life, who they love, and we'll always stand by this. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Modi, would you like to comment?
Yes, sir. It's very good that you brought us this information. I've never heard of it. It's like people like you who bring us all the information, right? And we take this back east, right? We're going to take action on that. And because it's very difficult to keep in touch with what's happening around the world. The same thing with the Bangladesh issue also. Like, we will take it up to the back east, but again, it's all the countries in the world have to join together and support whatever is happening there, and to bring those issues to countries like Bangladesh to, to make awareness among the people, so that that country or the poor government, the country is responsible for that. Okay, thank you.
All right, Ruby.
Yeah, seconding on that point, again, global issues is a great concern. We understand that we have friends, families we're concerned about around the globe, and it starts with allyship with other nations and forming an intervention plan that country will actually agree to and put in process as well, because it is a tricky situation. There are a lot of parts, but it starts with having a conversation. It starts with having the allyship with our global nations. Going back to the second question that was asked about what's been going on within school systems and university systems, this goes down to that social injustice, racism exists within our society. It is multi-layered. Racism is a multi-complex issue, and it's existing within post-secondary institutions, and it starts from isolation that we feel. And as someone who has recently and been within post-secondary institutions so recently, I understand as minorities having our language erased that is part of our identity is concerning. Because if we say we are a diverse nation and we take pride in multiculturalism and equality, then why are we feeling like this? And why are things like this still being happening? And it's about voicing for those and intervening where we can. And that starts with working within post-secondary institutions. And students who understand what's happening feel very, very alone, because the post-secondary institutions, from experience, are very, very big. A lot of students don't even know who to contact to voice these issues on what is happening. So it starts by informing students that they are in a safe space, they have a safe representative who can be their first point of contact and is able to intervene, is aware of these issues, because obviously I have that recent experience of being within a post-secondary institute. So it starts from that, having a point of contact that they can go to when they are feeling lost, because we want to voice issues, we do. We think about them, but we don't know where to start from sometimes, and it starts by having a representative who intervenes federally, provincially, municipally, within the community, holding town halls, holding community events, staying engaged, because a community is like a family, so everybody should come together. And having these voices issued will be more than just having a conversation with someone within these positions of power that post-secondary institutions have. It's about continuing to have conversations. It's about holding them accountable to actually make the change that we know we need. Like, we had a young gentleman speak on how he's feeling within post-secondary institutions in 2021. Unless we voice for these issues, we have someone who will bring the change, who is bringing new representation within the halls of Ottawa, has the experience, nothing will be done. So that's why it is super important when we vote this time, we vote for people, we vote for morals, we vote for who best represents our issues and concerns.
Thank you. If anybody has any question, you can email or you can give that question as a written to NAHA volunteers, and they will send it to the candidates as well, and then we'll try to organize something again. If not electronically, you will get it answered, but talk to the NAHA volunteers with all your questions. Today, we are actually half an hour over our time, but I would like to request Ajay ji to say thank you to everybody, to you and the candidates, and I wish all of you good luck. And I think this was a very healthy discussion and dialogue that we started today. We need to do it again and again. And then if you start doing it, then all the questions that we had today, I don't think we're going to have those questions. Because then who's going to answer those questions? Us. Because we will be there on those chairs, on those seats, on those positions, what we are looking for. Thank you very much. Ajay.
Thank you. First of all, I thank Mr. Dev, Sukh Dhaliwal, Mr. Randeep Sarai, Parveer Kundal, Ken Hardy, and Murli Krishnan. I thank them from the core of my heart, as well as I thank the question raisers. They are Sarthak, Mr. Ravi Seru, Nima Mandral, Dr. Raghav, and one more. And then I'm especially thankful to Bangladeshi persecuted Tuhir and Ms. Shashi Kumar. Really, though it is a beginning, and it is a beginning, let it not be the end. My point is, these 20 people can make the change? No, we have to unite. We have to make one strong voice, then they will listen to us. If you think they will listen to us without any strong united voice, we are in wrong thinking. We cannot be. So we have to be united. That is the only thing. With that, I thank everyone, those who have made the time, but we need to unite. It is the need of the time. We need to unite. Thank you.
There is food being served downstairs. Please, I request all of you, do not go home without having.
Once again, this event was organized by North American Hindus Association and friends at the Laxmi Narayan Mandir. I am your host Aisha, and if you do have any events that you would like to get covered, whether it is in English, Hindi or Punjabi, give us a call here at the studio, Radio Bula Masti, Shana TV or gkmmedia.com. And by all means, feel free to give us a call. We are your community radio station and always here for you. We try to cover as many events as possible, even to advertise your business. You can give us a call at 604-427-0291. Again, your event can be broadcasted on 3 different platforms: radiobulamasti.com, shanatv.com and gkmmedia.com. Also, feel free to download the app on Google or Android. Just search for gkmmedia.com. Have a good night, and we shall see you very, very soon.